Good morning, dear students. Today, let's begin with our sixth lesson of supplementary period, that is weathering the storm in Ersama. It is the place in Orissa state of our country. You must be knowing that these coastal areas, as you know that this South India has this type of pictorial presentation, you can say, or our geographical boundaries are like these. So the states which are located at the coastal areas, these three parts are surrounded by oceans: Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and which is the ocean which surrounds at the southernmost tip. It is for your question to find out this name of the ocean. Okay. Now, Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, these are the two oceans, two seas. These three parts are surrounded by the water bodies. And it is very likely these areas are prone to face the cyclones or the sea waves, strong sea waves that are caused at the coastal areas of these states, but especially the cyclones hit these areas and they are prone areas of cyclones. Actually, this story is all about a boy's courage named Prashant. The main character of the story is Prashant. Now we come to the author. Author is Harsh Mandir. Actually, he worked in Indian Administrative Services. Means he was an IAS. He worked in the tribal belts of Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, and Chhattisgarh. He is an activist, means he worked for the common people, for the problems of the common people, and mass violence and hunger. Actually, those who were the victims of mass violence and hunger, especially in these tribal areas of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Orissa. He worked for these people, those who survived in these areas of mass violence. You must be knowing that Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, they are prone areas of, means they are considered as Naxalite belts, and mass violence is a very common phenomena over there. So he is very much saddened by all those things, and he worked for those areas, those people. Okay. Now, actually, he worked for homeless people, the victims of violence, and street children, especially street children. Therefore, looking into his qualities, he was appointed as the director of the Center of Equity Studies and Special Commissioner to the Supreme Court. Remember, Special Commissioner to the Supreme Court of India in the right to food case. What was the case? Right to food. So this is the story. The storm, weathering the storm in Ersama, is all about a storm and the actions and reactions of the people who are affected by natural calamities. We are helpless before natural calamities. But if we manage the things properly, the things can be, means the damage can be minimized. It is most important thing. We cannot stop natural calamities. But if we are warned beforehand, if we manage the things properly, the damage can be stopped. We cannot say damage can be stopped, but it can be lessened. It can be minimized. And there are the possibilities of survival and protection of the life and property increases. This is the main thing which is conveyed in this lesson. The focus is on the selflessness, community welfare, family togetherness, and weathering any storm together. Means when we do the actions together, when we take actions together, when we join hands together, the damage can be minimized and the people who are in need can be provided with the help at the time of the need. This is the basic requirement of the mass helping. It is very difficult to send the help, but it can be managed properly. This is the only way. Okay? So, Tamil Nadu, Orissa, Kerala, these states are prone to cyclones. You must have read, if you remember the lesson in class 8th. What was the name of the lesson in which you have learnt that the animals run away from the areas which were prone to the disasters. Actually, in that lesson, it was revealed, it was taught to us that animals have a sort of sixth sense, and therefore there was a less damage to animals. Fine. In this way, you have learnt a lot about natural calamities, their management in your previous chapters, previous classes as well. And now we are coming to the weathering the storm and Ersama. Actually, it is all about the brave hero of our story, whose name is Prashant. Okay, now we come to our book explanation. Actually, this happened on 27th of October 1999. And after the death of his mother, he had gone to the block headquarters of Ersama, a small town in central Orissa, some 18 kilometers from his village. This place was 18 kilometers away from his village. Why did he go there? To spend the day with a friend in the evening. He went to his friend's house, which was 18 kilometers away from his house, to spend his evening, spend his day with the friend. And evening, what happened? A dark, stormy cloud, a storm quickly gathered over there. Dark storm gathered over the area. Winds beat against. Winds were blowing so fast with at a very high speed. And Prashant had never witnessed such winds blowing with great speed till yet. Heavy, and this wind was followed by heavy rainfall. You must be knowing that storms always bring high speed winds and then followed by heavy rainfalls. and it was same with the area. The heavy rains started, then continuous and heavy rains made and created a sort of darkness over the area. The tall and ancient, even hard-rooted trees were uprooted. Hard-rooted trees were uprooted and crashed to the earth. A large-scale devastation took place. Screams rent the air as people and houses were swiftly washed away. Many houses were collapsed, huts were collapsed, screams were there all over the area. Large-scale devastation took place. Then, but the anger of water was never going to cease. Angry water waves were roaring up and up. They swirled round his neck deep. Means there was water everywhere, water and water everywhere. The buildings which were made of brick and mortar were strong enough and that they survived the devastation. Means those buildings which were made of bricks, cement, they were they survived only. Otherwise, huts and the kacha houses, they were swept away into the waters of the seaways. Then the wind velocity was 350 kilometers per hour. Just imagine 350 kilometers per hour. There was the crashing sounds of trees, houses, huts all over the area. Everyone could be terrified after listening those sounds. Everyone. And Prashant was a small child only. Okay. So a number of houses were damaged, those who could stand by themselves. These houses also damaged and even strong roots were uprooted. Okay. This way, Prashant was experiencing his lifetime experience. He had never experienced such a devastating disaster, devastating storm in his life. Now, the devastation or the large-scale destruction wrought by the cyclone and surge of the ocean continued for the next 36 hours. Just imagine how they were surviving. And what happens when such a cyclone or storm occurs? The first thing that lights go off. The first thing, because all the electrical lines, they are crashed in such a high speed of wind, crashed the lights and the wiring of the electrical poles, isn't it? Then it continued for 36 hours, just imagine. Although after that, wind speed was reduced, but by the next morning. And to escape from the waters rising in the house, Prashant and his friend's family had taken the refuge on the roof. Where he went, those family members took refuge on the roof of the house. They went up to the roof and then they stayed there. Prashant will never forget that experience. Even if anyone would be there in his place, he or she might not have forgotten such a horrible experience, isn't it? Then it was a devastating rout. Write the meaning of the word rout. Rout. Find their meanings. I have already sent you. Route. So you also have to guess the word meanings which will be appearing for your examination, isn't it? You have to have some practice for that also. So here, Prashant will never forget the shock he experienced at his first glimpse of devastation wrought by the super cyclone. It was considered as the super cyclone. In the grey light of early morning, a raging, deadly brown sheet of water covered everything as far as I could see. Means everywhere he could see water, water, water. Not a piece of land could be seen. And even water was neck deep. Just imagine. Water was neck deep. Then the we can see that cemented houses could survive themselves. But the huts and big trees, small houses, they crashed down. Then what happened? Then he could see the dead bodies of human beings and animals, carcasses of animals, dead bodies of animals. All round, even the huge trees had fallen and dead human beings and animals were floating on the surface of water. Then the dead bodies of animals were swollen, means they were blotted. Swollen dead bodies, when you must have observed when a dead body is kept in water, it swells up. So he could see the dead bodies of human beings and animals all around the area. And by having a look at such a scene, Prashant's blood froze. Blood freezing means मतलब डर के मारे दिल बैठ जाना, दहशत पैदा हो जाना. प्रशांत इतना डर चुका था ये सब देखकर. He had never seen such a scene in his life. This scene is completely different scene and scene. This scene is the third form of the verb see, saw, seen. This scene is for the pictorial presentation, means you can see कोई दृश्य, ये scene उसके लिए है. So, though there is a slight pronunciation change in the pronunciation of these two words, seen and seen. So pay attention to the words which come up while you go through the lecture. So we'll continue tomorrow as well.